Hello everyone, and for the last time in 2023, you're all very welcome to the UCI E-Enduro and Enduro World Cup highlights. It's the big one, the first ever Enduro World Cup Finals Day from the UCI Mountain Bike World Series Festival, Haute-Savoie. A full fat UCI World Cup season called for a full fat UCI World Cup trophy, and that's exactly what was at stake at the end of a brutal day's racing around the stages of Châtel. The atmosphere and the tension grew as the riders left the top of the stage. The world's best were on track and the clock was ticking. First up for the UCI Enduro World Cup racers was a trail named Falco. The first stage of the race was the shortest of the day at 1.4 kilometres long and featured 325 vertical metres of descending.
We found some big holes into the corners. I didn't do some mistakes, so I'm pretty happy.
Wow, what a way to start the day. It was so much fun. Dry, dusty, loam. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's the last race of the season and the last big push, and some of the big names were in trouble early doors. Forbidden Synthesis' Rhys Ferner and Orbea Fox's Martin Mays both crashed on stage one.
Go Charlie! Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, boy.
Sickest track of the year. It's so much fun. A little harder to race, just because it's coming up at you so much quicker.
Oh, it was a bit of a shock to the system. You're straight into like steep, loose corners, lots of dust, lots of hold.
Yeah!
One was pretty dry and quite good actually. It was fun, but I'm extremely tense, so I think I needed a stage to kind of let the pressure out and just trying to be a bit more myself on the bike now. So I think I'm gonna take them like stage after stage and just try to enjoy.
So after the first stage of the day, Falco Trail, here's how things stood. Isabelle Cordelier and Morgan Char finished on the same second, with the overall title leader drawing first blood. Barbara Wojcik was third, but ahead of Gloria Scarzi and Ella Connolly.
Feeling a bit cooked, eh?
One of 2022's big breakthrough acts, Jack Menzies, was third on the opener. Just behind one of the stars of 2023, Dan Booker. Jesse Melamed, the title still within his grasp, went fastest. It was game on. After the opening exchanges then, here's how they stacked up. Melamed, Booker and Menzies led in the elite men's. Then came the next of the title contenders, Alex Rudeau. Richie Rude was sixth. The course here in Châtel has been hailed all week by amateurs and pros alike as one of the best sets of stages in several years. Here's how it stacked up. Just over 58 kilometres of course awaited in the area surrounding Châtel Bike Park. Lifts would play their part in the title decider with 800 vertical metres of climbing, playing 3,600 vertical metres of descending across 7 stages. Finals day meant that there were some titles hanging in the balance. In the elite women's race, it was Isabelle Corderie out front who had a healthy lead, but Morgan Schauer still had a chance. The Pivot Factory racing rider would need some luck, but the numbers could work. Out front in the elite men's, there was another rider closing in on what would be a record-equalling third title. Yeti Fox's Richie Rude led, but the gap back to Alex Rideau, Jessie Melamed and Rhys Werner remained much more tentative. Anything was still possible. For all of the action from E-Enduro, stay tuned at the end of this highlights package. The second stage of the day was Barboss. At 2.8 kilometres in length, it was the longest of the day and dropped a chunky 430 vertical metres. That was followed by the shorter and steeper Forêt d'Ussé as the third stage, 1.8 kilometres in duration with 410 vertical metres of down. The balance of power swung on stage 2. Trek Factory Racing's Harriet Harnden won the stage. But Morgan Schauer edged out Isabelle Corderie to lead the race by just 0.19 seconds. Morgan Schauer's lead of the race was slender and she needed a big push on stage 3 to solidify it. She went fastest when she crossed the line, but it wasn't enough. Corderie won the stage and recaptured the lead of the overall by half a second.
Top section, you're just like trying to trust these benches like this one. Had one like near massive one. But everything today's sick, so looking forward to today.
Slavomir Lukacic, second place at the second round in Derby, Tasmania, was third on stage 2. But up front, the title chase was heating up. Rude was feeling the pressure.
Good stage for you, mate?
Not really.
A few mistakes or?
No mistakes, just not riding fast enough, I guess.
Alex Rideau, on the other hand, was on a smash and grab points raid. But he would finish second to Jessie Melamed. It was 2 on the bounce for the Canadian. In the virtual overall, the Canyon Collective rider was now just 59 points off of Rude's leader's jersey.
not only the race that, like the Alpine stuff, it's so narrow, and when you get off that like dirt, it's just grass, and your front wheel goes so quickly, so a lot of loose moments, but survive.
Jesse Melamed dropped his first points of the day on the third stage. He was third behind Charlie Murray. Fastest was Alex Rudeau. The flat pedal French star was starting to come into his own. In the elite men's race, Jesse Melamed led Alex Rudeau by just 1/100th of a second. Charlie Murray was now up into third. On the road, according to the virtual point standing, Rude's overall lead was now 86 from Melamed and 100 from Rudeau. Just as they had been all year, Courtourier and Char were head and shoulders clear of the pack. Isabeau led Morgan by half a second after the third stage. A decent gap was forming behind them back to Connolly, Pujan and Scarzy. After stage 3, the racers passed back through the pits for their technical assistance zone, allowing them a valuable bite to eat and for any bike-related issues to be resolved before the second half of the day.
No big issues, a few mistakes on the stage 3. It was really slippery yesterday and today the conditions were better, but it's kind of hard to know how it rides.
The last one was incredibly wild. I was all over the place, just trying to stay on the track. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it went. I feel like you could have lost a lot of time on 3, so yeah, still in the mix, I think.
Yeah, it's super tight. I don't think about it. I just do what I have to do and we will see at the end.
All week I think I was saying that those tracks are what I'm more into, so fresh, natural. I don't know, after winning the first two I was like, okay, I'm riding well enough that I can like maybe hold back a bit and still do well, so third is great, but I kind of wanted to win that one too.
Oh, it was all right. Not so confidence inspiring, I guess. Like, had a slow start. 2 was not very good, but yeah, had a good 3 and brought back some time, so feeling a little better. We got 4 stages in the bike park. Time to go and make this championship a bit safer.
Stage 4 took place in the Avoriaz region and was 2 kilometres of trail with 295 metres of descending. The stage represented riders tipping into the pointy end of this race and indeed the season. They now had 3 stages left to secure the final points and to secure their overall series position.
Charlie!
Between her enduro and downhill bikes, Trek's Hattie Harnden has done more racing than just about any mountain biker this season. She was third again on stage 4 and holding strong in the same position in the overall. But the French riders out front were still at it. Courtourier was pushing hard, but it was Char who'd take the stage, this time by 2.8 seconds. Again the pendulum swung and Char led the race. Richie Rude seemed to have taken the time in the technical assistance zone to recompose his efforts. He was third fastest on stage 4. Ahead of him was his title rival and the race leader Jesse Melamed in second. He was just half a second behind the stage winner, the YT Mob's Jack Moyer. The 5th stage of the day was the extremely rocky and slick Coupe de France. 2 kilometres of the most treacherous sets of conditions in the race awaited. It had been greasy in practice, but conditions were now verging on perfect.
Yeah, conditions are way better, or I would say way easier to ride. In practice it was pretty hard. Some turns are slippery and some turns are good, so a bit of a mission.
Melanie Poujam was 4th on stage 5, just behind Ella Connolly in 3rd.
I'm just super tense today, and so I ride it quite like a little bit stiff compared to normally. It's drier, but in some places it's still very wet, so it's super difficult to read the terrain, know if you can push or if you cannot. So I think we are maybe holding a little bit.
But out front, the closest battle in elite women's enduro history had fully escalated into the remarkable. Char and Courdurier clocked exactly the same time on stage 5.
I don't know, I try to push really hard and it's always like so tight. And yeah, it's so funny because it's like really different kind of track from this morning, and then even stage 4 was a lot different. And we're always like so close to this, pretty good.
That unbelievable stage meant that Morgane Char held on to her 2.2 second lead ahead of Isabelle Courdurier with just 2 to go. Behind them, Harnden held on to 3rd. Ella Connolly was 4th, Melanie Poujam was 5th. Alex Rudeau. The Commencal Enduro project rider has pedigree for going fast in France, particularly when the going gets steep, and he was looking supremely fast on the stages and closing in on the win.
Go Richie! Allez, allez, allez!
Found what I wanted in the morning and feeling like I had some pace and pushing hard, so definitely happy. Mine's in a good place, and yeah, got another 2 to go.
But there was no stopping Jesse Melamed. The Canadian had said in the pre-race press conference that all he could do was to race his own race and put himself into the best position possible. He continued to do so with his 3rd stage win of the day.
Here we go, bam, 4 seconds. Good job.
Dude, so loose.
Jesse Melamed led the elite men's race by 9 seconds from Alex Rudeau, but Rude had now moved himself up into 3rd. The American seemed to be rallying. He'd stemmed the time losses of the morning and was now honing in on that elusive 3rd title. Haute-Savoie was the penultimate stage. Just under 2 kilometres in length, it dropped 380 vertical metres in height as the racing continued its way towards fever pitch. Hattie Harnden had impressed all race long, but was finding herself having to fend off Ella Connolly. Connolly finished stage 6 and 3rd, just ahead of the Malvern local. On the last stage, literally nothing could separate the 2 French stars out front. On 6, it wasn't much different. There was just under 0.2 of a second in it, and it was in Char's favour. Jessie Melamed finished stage 6 and 4th, 3 spots ahead of Ruud in 7th. In front of him, Jack Moyer was 3rd, and title hopeful Alex Rudeau was 2nd. One of the early season stars, Nukeproof SRAM's Dan Booker, took a stage win on the penultimate opportunity to do so in 2023. And so, here's how they stood with just one stage of 2023 left to contest, and both titles hung in the balance. Morgan Schär had led the way and had just about put herself into the driving seat. If Isabelle Courdurier finished outside of the top 9 and she won the stage and the race, she would win the title. The outside hope remained tentative, but now burnt that fraction brighter. Spookily, the elite men's title hung by exactly the same thread. Ruud finishing outside of the top 9 plus a stage and race win for Jessie Melamed or Alex Rudeau would equal the title.
Stay upright, just do a clean run and have a good one, I think. Go fast, have fun. Yeah, we'll see. Just hope I can finish well. Like, I'm just trying not to think too much right now and just go down, just go to the bottom, and that's it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. The tracks have been unbelievable today. It's definitely up there with one of the best ones I've done, so loving it.
I feel confident, and I thought I was pushing a lot, but when I saw the time, it's a bit far on the stage 4 and the 5. And stage 6 was better. I pushed a bit more, I think.
Today has been epic. I had a little lie down on 4, see a bit of better wound, but nope, can't complain. It's like this stage is here, some of the best we've had all year. So to finish the race in Châtel was, to finish the season in Châtel was really special.
Good, man. Every stage I've been getting through. It's like weird to have 7 stages again because you're like, wow, I have like 4 left. Wow, I have 3 left. This one's good though. It should have hopefully dried up from practice and should just be ripping. So just want to get through it clean and have a good one.
Just another one to go. Feeling good at the moment. My day kind of got a bit better once we got in the bike park zone and feeling pretty confident. So yeah, it's just gonna, I guess, keep doing what I'm doing, have a smooth one, and yeah, get to the bottom.
The final stage of the 2023 UCI Enduro World Cup season was to be Comatro Trail. It was the second shortest of the race, at just 1.5 kilometres in length. There was little to work with for those on the hunt for precious, potentially life-changing seconds. The first ever UCI Enduro World Cup had spanned the globe and showcased a race format full of stars and full of drama. Now, both titles had come down to just one stage. Mountain bike racing simply does not get better than this.
Let's go, vive la France, let's go!
Ella Connolly's late race push continued onto the final stage. Free from the pressures of the title race, she continued her superb charge. But it wouldn't be enough to dethrone Hattie Harnden. Harnden finished the final stage in 8th, but that would be enough to cement a superb 3rd position, having both attacked and defended all day long. All eyes eyes looked up the hill. 2 riders would be left to decide not only the race, but the destination of the first ever UCI World Cup overall title in Enduro. Morgan Schär attacked faultlessly as she had all race. She posted the fastest time on the final stage to clinch the victory. But just 4.8 seconds behind her was Isabeau Courdurier in second. Isabeau had done enough. Second in the race meant that Courdurier would finally take her 3rd Enduro title at home in France.
In a dream, I think, to have this 3rd title, so I'm just relieved. I had the pressure all day and I just wanted to make it happen, but you never know until you cross this last finish line. So that was my dream to equal Cécile and Tracy, and I absolutely wanted to do it before I'm 30, so I'm stoked.
In the elite men's race, a 3rd title also hung in the balance. Jesse Melamed and Alex Rudeau had hounded Richie Rude all race long. Would one of the virtually faultless rides end in a title snatched from under the American's nose? Or could Richie Rude make his own piece of Enduro World Cup history?
Allez Jesse! Allez Jesse, allez, allez! Allez Jesse! Allez Jesse, allez, allez!
Jesse Melamed drew first blood. He went fastest as the first of the trio to drop. Alex Rudeau was the first to blink. He would cross the line in 6th on the stage. His title dreams were over. Richie Rude set off to attempt to capture his first title since 2016. Melamed won the race, but there was no stopping Richie Rude from taking the title. The Yeti Fox rider had missed out on the elusive 3rd crown on too many occasions to let it slip through his fingers once more. He finished the final stage of the year in 9th, exactly what he needed to do. Richie Rude was the 2023 UCI Enduro World Cup overall title winner.
I'm blown away. Like, to get first last year was sick. to get second, it's like, I can't believe I'm second in the world. Like, that's incredible. Thanks for covering it. Thanks for the fans for watching, and thanks to all the venues for putting it on, and we'll see you next year.
Started in April, and now we're here in September. Feels unreal, like being up in this position, having the leader's jersey for a couple races this year, and being able to kind of close on it and yeah, make the most of it. Feels really good.
Feels so good to end the season like this with a win. I was close a few times this year, but it was just so good. And yeah, today everyone is happy. She gets the overall, I get the win today, and yes, it's the best for me.
It was really a dream to reach this third title, so I put so much pressure on my shoulder. I did not sleep at all. Like, I really was like super tense, and I'm just like so happy right now. She was on fire today, and I just wanted to push as hard as I could, but avoiding to crash or having a mechanical. But I think honestly she was like uncatchable on this kind of trails.
Confirmation then that although not the debut title that she may have dreamt of, Morgane Charre would finish the season with a win at home in France. Behind her, the freshly recrowned champion Isabeau Courdurier. Harndon and Connolly were third and fourth respectively, whilst Pujan was fifth. Barbara Wojcik cemented herself atop most elite teams' off-season shopping list in sixth, before Carême, Scarzy, Morrison and Barona rounded out the top 10. The elite men's race was every bit as breathless. Jesse Melamed won the final race of the season, ahead of Alex Rideau and Richie Rude. Slavomir Lukasic was the big winner on the final stage and rose 2 spots to split Booker and Murray. Behind them it was Moyer, a big day out for Levesque, then Day and Deneau. Melamed was the only elite male to win 2 races in 2023. In the overall standings, Isabeau Courdurier wins the 2023 UCI Enduro World Cup ahead of Morgane Charre after one of the most hotly contested seasons yet, which all came down to the final stage. Courdurier is the only free-time winner to have done so on different brands of bike. Behind the top 3 it was a superb Scarzy, early season leader Barona and former champ Pujan. Ella Connolly was 7th, Ray Morrison was 8th, Barbara Wojcik was 9th and Noga Carême rounded out the year 10th. Richie Rude takes a 3rd title ahead of Jesse Melamed and Alex Rideau. Rhys Werner was 4th, Ewan Deneau had his best season yet in 6th, followed by Booker, Lukasic, Walker and Moyer. It's double bubble for the Eddie Fox factory race team as they take the team's championship. Lapierre Zip Collective were 2nd and Pivot Factory Racing were 3rd. Behind them it was the Canyon Collective followed by Forbidden Synthesis, completing the top 5. And that is it, Enduro Racing's biggest season to date. Its first as a fully fledged UCI World Cup proved to be its best yet. Both titles came down to the wire and were decided on the final stage. It just doesn't get any closer than that. It was a suitably dramatic finish, the final round of the UCI E-Enduro World Cup in Châtel, with some of the tightest racing on record and a costly mistake depriving one of the favourites of the win. The second weekend of racing at the UCI Mountain Bike World Series Festival Haute-Savoie saw the elite E-Enduro racers take to a huge course that encompassed 10 stages, 65 kilometres and over 4,000 vertical metres of descending. In the women's e-bike race, Tracy Moseley put on a dominant display to win the first 3 stages of the day. Ines Thoma would claim victory on stage 4 and stage 10, whilst former EWSE champion Laura Charles of the Miranda factory team also claimed a stage win. However, none of them could stop champion Florencia Espinera of Orbea Fox Enduro team from claiming both the race win and with it the inaugural UCI E-Enduro World Cup Series overall title.
I don't know what to say, I don't know what to feel, God is so crazy, happy that things went my way. It's crazy for me, being South American to get this spot in this a sport that is not very common to see people from Latin America and taking the lead and the win over these legend riders, awesome riders. I don't know, it feels unreal sometimes.
The race will go down as the tightest e-bike women's finish to date, with Espinera beating Mosley by just 0.4 of a second after 10 stages of racing.
Got it to lose by such a tiny amount. I had a few issues on the last power stage and lost so much time, so I had to get off and run. So I felt like I was riding probably the best I've ridden all year today and really had fun. So shame not to finish it off with a win, but hey, that's racing.
Ines Toma would finish 41 seconds back to take third. Espinera was joined on the overall series podium by Laura Scharl in second and Germany's Ines Toma in third. Meanwhile, in the men's race, series leader Fabien Barel snatched defeat from the jaws of victory when a 60-second penalty applied for a missed section of liaison cost him the race lead he'd enjoyed from the second he left the start gate.
I'm super happy, no complaint. I like to ride my own on fire, like pushing my limits, and that's what I've done all season. Even if my prep was not there, I'm super happy and I really had a good time.
The mistake left Barel back in 9th place and handed the race victory to Kevin Mari of the Lapierre Zip Collective. He was less than 0.2 of a second ahead of Thiago Ladera in second and Mick Hanna of Yeti Fox Factory Race Team in third. And although the race win was now out of Barel's grasp, his season-long dominance was richly rewarded with the UCI E-Enduro World Cup overall series title. Kevin Mari took second in the overall, with Ladera completing the podium in third.
Yeah, I feel so happy to win today. It was a hard day. I had some mistake at the beginning, and after Fab did a mistake, and unfortunately for him, but super happy to win today.
From everyone at Warner Brothers Discovery Sports, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for downhill and cross country in Snowshoe, West Virginia.